So here's the argument. As a creationist, the scientists, they would be like, things appear designed in the biological world, but they're not. They say that what we can test, observe, and demonstrate is that it wasn't designed. That the universe created itself, biological material, in fact, created itself from non-living matter. And the objection to the creationist perspective, which is if you find a painting in the forest, you know that somebody made it. If you find George Washington carved on the side of Mount Rushmore, you know that somebody made it. There's no way that exfoliation or thermal expansion or erosion or anything else could have created that shape on the rock. It had to be designed. Yet scientists today believe that George Washington himself evolved from a rock, because 3 billion years ago, the Earth was a hot molten mass which was slowly cooling and producing gas clouds, raining on the rocks over millions of years and turning them into prebiotic, non-organic soup containing organic compounds, which then assembled themselves naturally into a living cell, and then that living cell, over the course of 3 billion years, has evolved into all the diversity of life that we see today, and therefore your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa was a rock. So you better be careful when you're out there on the campsite. Don't step on your ancestors there, okay? And stop driving on the highway and show some respect for your elders. Now, they would say that because the cell is a biological machine and it's not a man-made machine, you can't use that analogy, because you know that a man made the painting, but because the cell is biological, you can't use the same analogy and say that somebody made the cell, when in fact, the single cell of even the simplest bacteria that we know of today is more complex than a space shuttle, which requires hundreds of, probably more than 100 scientists that have expertise in various fields of research, and they're all required to make that system work. Not one scientist can do it alone, or has the skill or the knowledge to do it alone. It takes a team. Now, it's that space shuttle, the most complex man-made machine that we know of, and a single cell is far more complex than that. We haven't even got to step one of creating a life in the laboratory, and they've been trying to do that for over 100 years, since it was proven wrong in the biogenesis that life can only come from life. Adding a genetic complexity to a painting, it would start fixing itself and reproducing.